Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Chicago's online worship. I am Monica Kling Garcia, your Shug ministerial intern, and I am delighted to welcome you to worship this morning. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community of children, youth, and adults, a people of many beliefs and traditions, bound not by the specific list of things we believe, but the values we share, and the mission to grow our souls and heal the world. Whether you are joining us online for the first time, or you've worshipped with us thousands of times, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God some of the time, all of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. No matter how much money is in your pocket, no matter if you have a PhD, a GED, or no degree, you belong here. We are a people of many races and beliefs. We are a people of many genders and sexual orientations. All of you is sacred. All of you is welcome. You belong here. I invite you now to be present to this moment. Let us enter into this service together as the prelude begins.
Our opening words and chalice lighting come from the Reverend Teresa Soto. There are lots of ways to stay alive. There are lots of ways to stay alive. You can wear soft clothes and focus on brushing your teeth and hydrating. You can ask yourself what you need and not be mad that you don't have an answer, only a shrug. You can breathe in, and then with care, you can breathe out, taking the thing one single breath at a time. You can give yourself a chance. Remember not only your mistakes, but also all the ways that you matter. You matter when you are sad, when the world is heavy like wet laundry dragging from your arms. You matter when you are angry, and you use your teeth like welded prison bars to keep the words that might cause harm from escaping past your lips. There are many ways to stay alive. You can come heart wrapped in several layers of foil, mashed into a plastic box with an ill-fitting lid, to a place where people say your name like it is good news. You can always fight your way toward freedom. I recommend that you decline the option of struggling by yourself. The point is to get your life. There was a wise ruler who said once that by ourselves we each are unprotected, but two people together can face the worst, the failure, the heartbreak, the upending of the worlds we hold in our hearts, and the secret shame that we will shed like the skin of a smooth snake, though it will take some time. And with three people, you being one of them, you may find that eventually all will be well. I light our chalice this morning in honor of the truth that there are many, many ways to stay alive. I love you so much, says Teresa Soto.
I invite you now to join in the reciting of our covenant.
The commitment that we make to each other about what it is we're doing here, why we gather, who we're becoming, and who we are.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is law. This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
I invite you now to greet one another warmly in the chat box of friendship.
Remembering it's public, say hello.
Good morning. At this time, please gather those who are young, young at heart, and your furry friends for a time for all ages. Thank you. You may remember from one of my other Time for All Ages that I have 3 little kitty friends: Burrito, Nobi, and Nubbin. What you might not have known is that Nubbin is named Nubbin because he was born without a tail. You also might not know that Nubbin is a brilliant little guy who lives a very full life, full of snuggles from his best friend and from his mama. It is also the reality that Nubbin cannot do everything that a cat with a tail would do, at least not in the same way. For example, Nubbin loves to play just like his brother Nobi, who you can see playing here. Nobi is using his tail to balance so that he can stand up and try and grab the toy. Nubbin is not able to balance using his tail, so he lays down to play and pushes himself around as needed. Finding a path with limitations can be difficult, even though those with disabilities don't always say so. Going that extra mile isn't him being a hero. It's him finding ways to live his best life by putting in the effort to go beyond limitations because he needs to. But that can be a lot of work. When he can't deal with the limitations or find a way through adaptation, well, sometimes he asks to ask for help, just like we do. See, kitties clean themselves by taking a bath and licking their own fur like this. That's not always so easy without his tail to counterbalance. So sometimes he needs to get help from a friend, and that doesn't make him any less intelligent and fantastic. It's also the case that sometimes there are things he just can't do despite his best efforts. For example, this floofy cat loves to sit on my shoulders. Now, Nubbin is a very special guy who learns by watching. This is him showing me where I might be able to find his canned wet food to give him his dinner. So after watching Nobi, he decided to give sitting on my shoulder a try. He did his best, but he ended up mostly hanging out awkwardly before sliding down. That balance can't quite be done without a tail, and that's okay. He is no less deserving of love for the things that he is not able to do. It is important that we welcome those with different abilities and limits into our hearts with love and appreciation, while giving visibility into the reality that striving to achieve that which is easy for others isn't easy for all. And we'll continue to lift up the gifts, such as this, that each person or cat brings into the world as they are able. Thank you.
Friends, I invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation, to take a deep breath with me. And another. Let yourself slow down. Let your racing mind and your aching heart come into this present moment. Be where you are right now and nowhere else. Our words for meditation, we return to the opening words. There are lots of ways to stay alive, lifting them up again as a word of our own hope this time. There are a lot of ways to stay alive. You can wear soft clothes and focus on brushing your teeth and hydrating. You can ask yourself what you need. Ask yourself what you need. And don't be mad when you don't have an answer, only a shrug. You can breathe in, and then with care, you can also breathe out. Take the thing one single breath at a time. Our hope and our prayer this morning is to do this, to stay alive in all the different ways that we have to do it. Our hope and our prayer this morning is to give ourselves a chance to remember not only our mistakes, but all the ways that you matter. Eyelashes to shoelaces, you matter. You matter when you're angry, and use your teeth like Weldon prison bars to keep the words that might cause harm from escaping your lips. You are all of yourself. Our prayer and our hope this morning is not to conform to some mask or imitation, but to be all of who we are and stay alive right there in the midst of it. Each time we gather for worship, we set aside a moment to expand the caring ministry of the congregation. We recognize the cycle of life and death and the circle of love and compassion and witness. We stand at the sides of parents and teachers and everyone whose primary spiritual practice is caring for children. We're with you. We're there with those who live with grief and chronic pain, with illnesses, seen and unseen, with mental disability, with addiction. We're with you. For our neighbors in prison, for those who struggle with family members in ill health, those struggling to stay afloat in the midst of poverty, we're with you, all of us. Our lives are blessed by those who knowingly and with courage and curiosity face their final days. And we pray for those in harm's way, across the street or across the world, from known dangers and from invisible, infectious. In this season, many of us feel despair, the weight of the world heavy on our hearts, words of hope slow and heavy on the tongue. There are many ways to stay alive, many ways to stay alive. In the midst of despair, there are many ways to stay alive. In the midst of resilience and hope, there are many ways to stay alive. You can always fight your way toward freedom, says the poet. I recommend you decline the option of struggling by yourself. We come here to lay our burdens down, to trust ourselves into each other's hands, if only for a bit. So breathe deep and know that you are not alone. Friends, in the chat, I invite you to add the names of anyone you'd like to lift up in worship today, remembering that the chat is public. And for all those souls, all those good people, all those cares and concerns which remain unspoken in your hearts, we gather in hope, in love, and in prayer. Amen.
Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
She was talking with her best friend. They were at their favorite diner. They'd been meeting there since they were college kids. They spent most of their time laughing. Christine took her medicine and snack. Her friend watched her with an awkward stare. What is it like to have lupus and be sick? She was shocked. She was shocked because she figured her friend knew all there was to know. They'd been friends ever since they were roommates in college. After all, she had come with her to doctor's appointments, sees her use a cane, even throw up, cry. So Christine told her about the pills, the chronic pain, but her friend wasn't satisfied. What does it feel like? Not to be sick, but to be you. Christine tried to regain her composure. She looked around, grasping for a thought. How much detail should she give? She thought about making a joke, giving up, changing the subject. But she figured if she didn't try to explain it, how could her best friend ever understand? And if she couldn't explain it to her best friend, how could she explain her world to anyone else? She quickly grabbed every spoon on the table and on the surrounding tables. And that night in 2013, the spoon theory was born. The spoon theory is a metaphor for living with illness or disability, visible or invisible, permanent or transient. Christine is Christine Miserandino, who started the blog ButYouDon'tLookSick.com, the stories behind the smiles. This is her story. Spoons are the code word for what you can and can't do. So here, welcome to Cafe Schwartz, our place setting. I have stolen spoons from around the restaurant, and we have, let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And oh, one over here. 12. Here you go. You have lupus. 12 spoons. The difference between being sick and healthy is you now have to make choices. You have to consciously think about things when the rest of the world doesn't have to. Most healthy and temporarily able-bodied people start the day with many possibilities. Energy to do whatever they wish, even more so for younger people. When you're healthy, you expect to have a never-ending supply of spoons. But with an illness, you need to know exactly how many spoons you have. Now, each chore, each fun thing, each errand will cost a spoon. Before you even go to work, you have to get ready for work. That will cost a spoon. But think about this a little more realistically. You wake up late because you didn't sleep well. You need to have breakfast, because if you don't have breakfast, you can't take your medicine. And if you can't take your medicine, then throw out all of the spoons for today and tomorrow too. So making breakfast, crawling out of bed, that's going to cost you 1 spoon. Now, you have to shower. Don't drop your spoons. You have to shower. Washing, shaving, reaching, bending. That costs a spoon. For healthy, temporarily able-bodied people, a spoon might be really refreshing and build your energy. But if you're sick, you have pain, it hurts to move, or sensitivity to temperature, you can't feel temperature changes, it's going to cost a spoon. Here's a spoon for the morning shower. So to go to work, you have to get dressed. But to get dressed, you have to think of each detail. So what is the pain so far today? What clothes can you physically put on? If your hands hurt that day, you'll need a pullover shirt with no buttons. If you have bruises that day, you might need long sleeves, a fever, then a sweater, but some layers so you could cool off. And maybe you need more time to look presentable because your hair is falling out. And Christine says, add another 5 minutes for feeling badly. That just getting ready took a couple of hours. So there is another spoon. Now, theoretically, you haven't gotten to work yet. So choose the rest of your day wisely, because when your spoons are gone, they are gone. Sometimes you can borrow against tomorrow's spoons, but that will make tomorrow even harder. And someone who is sick may not be able to risk it. If their particular illness makes them more susceptible to other illnesses, they can't risk the danger. So now you go through your day. Let's say you take the train. There's no seat on the train, so you have to stand for the trip. That's going to cost a spoon. At work, you sit at the computer too long because you're at deadline. That's hard on your body. Another spoon. You were working really hard because you're on deadline, so you skipped lunch. For you, that's another spoon. Now it's time to step outside. The elevator is out of service, so you have to take the stairs to get down to the first floor. That's another spoon. It's rainy and cool out, a little uncomfortably so, and you're walking back to the train, pretty tired. The wind picks up. That's another spoon. You have to stop off at the post office to mail a birthday present or it will be late. So you really want to prioritize this and make sure you get to the post office. Another spoon. You do have to get home after all of this. And so there's the walk back to the train in the rain, the train ride, and then the walk from the train stop back home. I'm just going to count that as 1 spoon, but realistically that could be more. Now you have 2 spoons left and you're very hungry. Now you choose. You need a spoon to be able to make dinner, but you'd also like to do the dishes, and doing the dishes takes a spoon. The laundry also needs to be done, but that will cost 1 spoon to do something you like, which might be the first and only truly fun thing you did all day. So for tonight, you have to make some decisions. You really need to eat because you missed lunch, and even a simple dinner is going to cost 1 spoon. Now, it's 7 p.m. and you have 1 spoon left. How will you spend it? Your friend calls and asks if you would like to see a movie. You want to, but you have only 1 spoon, and you would need at least 5 to go out. They're a really good friend, but you're not sure if they'll understand. You had to cancel the last 2 times because you didn't feel well. But you only have 1 spoon, and you need that spoon to get ready for bed. If you don't use a spoon for a chore, though, you'll need a spoon on another day for it. The chores just don't do themselves. But if you don't do something enjoyable and relaxing, your stress levels could wind up costing you a spoon later on, too. And you see the conundrum. The spoon is the metaphor for what you can and can't do. Christine says the hardest thing she ever had to learn was to slow down and not do everything. And there's loss. There's loss in feeling left out, having to choose to stay home, not getting things done that you wish or need to do. For temporarily able-bodied people, may not know each task is 100 little jobs in one. Christine says, when other people can simply do things, I have to attack it and make a plan like I am strategizing a war. It is in that lifestyle, the difference between being sick and healthy. It's the beautiful ability not to think and to just do. I miss that freedom. I miss never having to count spoons. Since 2013, some people with chronic illnesses or disabilities sometimes use the word spoonie to describe themselves. Everyone has a different number of spoons. A healthy person may have 30 spoons on a typical day. Someone living with a chronic condition that affects them mild to moderately may have 20. Another person with a severe condition may have 5 spoons. And to make matters a little more complex in this metaphor, the same task can take different amounts of spoons for different people. Taking out the trash may not even cost a spoon for a healthy person, but for somebody with mobility challenge on a bad pain day, it could take 2 spoons. It's not fair. People who live with chronic conditions have the difficult burden and blessing of not taking things for granted, including the future. Throughout the pandemic, I've heard people complain about how hard it is to plan. How can I plan when I don't know what's coming next week? Each time I hear something like that, I think to myself, welcome to the club. People with chronic illness often don't know what the next week will be like. For better or worse, they are, and I am, blessed and burdened by changes, ups and downs. Acceptance and flexibility are skills and character traits that can come, but often at a steep price. The truth of the matter is none of us are entitled to a healthy body or mind. People who are healthy and able-bodied live as such, only temporarily. And none of us can actually know what the next week will hold. I've heard it said that everyone has maybe 25% fewer spoons during the pandemic. Grieving takes spoons too. When we understand the spoon theory, we can understand people around us better, who have different abilities, strengths, illnesses, challenges, and what it's like to live with illness in body or mind, grief, aging. And that awareness can give us compassion and help all of us live our lives a little differently too. And right now, compassion is something we all need, regardless of our ability level, our health, our place in society, and our country as a whole needs it too. May that compassion be yours, and may you be blessed by it as well. May it be so. Amen. Her friend looked sad, but Christine Miserandino said this: "Don't worry. I see it as a blessing. I've been forced to think about everything I do. Do you know how many spoons people waste every day? I don't have room for wasted time or wasted spoons. And I choose to spend this time with you. Go forth in peace and know that your presence in the presence of others is a precious gift of time, energy, and spoons they're giving to you."
Thank you so much for spending your morning with us, worshiping here at the First Unitarian Church of Chicago. We are so grateful for this community and for the many hands and many hearts who have worked together to make this service possible. We are also so grateful and excited about the continued ministry that our church is doing beyond its walls and in this virtual space. There are many ways that you can get involved, whether it be joining a committee, volunteering for any aspect of our church life, or by participating with our offertory and giving a one-time donation to the church or a pledge. You can do so online or via text. The information will be on the next screen. Thank you so much for the sacred time with you this morning, and we look forward to having you tune in next week for another worship service with this wonderful, gracious community.